No nine?
That's right. There's only one making a stand.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
She got the fan
She
like
was
she's
not in the
church
background of that shot.
Matching fan,
Incredible.
matching drip, matching nails.
I love it. It's amazing. MCU canon.
Did you guys rob an Asgardian construction worker?
Oh my God, they look like this.
All right.
I already
they're
want to show up these
fools.
guys. These guys are hilarious.
I know.
They look stupid. They look so dumb.
So goofy.
Thunderball, did you get it? No. Once you turned into She-Hulk, I couldn't pierce that nasty green skin.
Nasty green
Nasty,
skin.
shut your mouth.
Oh, fool.
So
Again, you're
who
trying to
is their
get
boss?
Sketchy.
Who could it be? This is Inside Marvel, New Rockstar's official after show for Marvel's She-Hulk. I'm Eric Voss, and with me are Empty and Jessica Clemens. Hello, friends.
Hey, hey, hey. She-Hulk just got jumped.
Hey,
Holy
hey.
shit.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Let's recap what happened this episode. Episode 3, Jen reels after the leaked video of Abomination fighting Wong that we saw in Shang-Chi, but Blonsky says he was taken against his will. Nikki looks up Wong, and we learn that he at one point worked for a Target for like 9 years.
I love how she sent him a thirst
Love
trap
it.
of books. Hilarious.
Yeah, and it works. He's like, where is
He's like,
she?
where is that?
Yeah,
Where are the
Where's
books?
his books?
When he does arrive, he's looking both ways, and I'm like, okay, so you are looking for Nikki, and I want a love interest for Wong. I want a love interest for
Right?
Wong.
I think they'd be
I
great.
stand by
Nikki's
it.
amazing. I love her.
I'd love to go on a double date with Nikki and Wong. Are you kidding
my
me?
God.
A game
Oh my
night
God.
with those two?
It would
That'd
be
be
magical.
Please.
I've done it.
Get out. Exit out right now.
MT, you are now Sorcerer Supreme on this episode.
That's how you win. Bad puns.
You did it. We see this montage of local news and social media reactions dragging Jen for repping Blonsky, but really they're just looking for a reason to cancel her. These assholes, just give them a reason, right? They already had these all lined up, ready to trash her. We actually see an interview with Blonsky's former attorney, Gideon Wilson, who in the comics is Sam Wilson's brother. Jess is actually gonna go further into this guy in the Easter egg breakdown that's coming out later today. Be sure to watch it. It's gonna be amazing. Jess, I'm sure you have some hot takes on this dude, right?
Yeah, I'm very confused, but I explain why it's confusing.
That's all we ask. So Jen's former co-worker at the DA, Dennis Bukowski, has hired GLK&H to sue his ex-girlfriend, a light elf named Runa, who impersonated Megan Thee Stallion. And this is our first shout out to the light elves of Alfheim in the MCU. Alfheim is the final one of the 9 realms yet to be established in the MCU. We're going to talk more about the light elves later. We also meet briefly Mallory Book, Jen's co-worker in the Superhuman Law Division, played by Hamilton's Renee Elise Goldberg. That's exciting to see her. Give her a longer scene, please. I want to see what she's all about. But anyway, Wong shows up looking for Nikki, doesn't find her, but he talks to Jen and he confirms that he did extract Blonsky from prison. Why? To have a worthy opponent as part of his training to become Sorcerer Supreme. I have questions about this. I thought he was already Sorcerer Supreme during the blip when Stephen Strange wasn't there. So maybe there's still some trials or some fitness checks that you have to go through after you're Sorcerer Supreme. I have to re-up my membership every few months by fighting some hulked out figure and I'll steal him from prison if I have to.
I think Wong is just, clearly, because he brings up being the Sorcerer Supreme every second he's on camera, I think he just takes it so literally that he's like, I also have to train for it. I already have the job, but I just need to be the best of the best of the best. And I'm like, go off. Yeah. Go off, my baby. Go off. I love you. Ooh, I love him so much.
I love Wong. I mean, yes, this is the era of Wong, the summer of Wong, and I'm here for it. I love Wong.
Even She-Hulk addresses it. Even the writers and She-Hulk herself is like, we know you want him. we know you tune in.
No one's complaining. I love how Wong references erasing everyone's memories during Spider-Man No Way Home, and he calls it messy, which is fascinating that he remembers the fact that this memory wipe happened. Because, anyway, we'll talk about this more. But he offers to send Blonsky to the Mirror Dimension and the Shadow Dimension, tying back into Multiverse Madness and in Love and Thunder, the Shadow Realm, we assume might be the same thing. I don't know if it's the same thing, Dimensions Realm.
It's the Shadow Realm from Yu-Gi-Oh! That's what they're talking about specifically.
That's what I thought they were talking about. I was thinking about it. I even put it in my breakdown. No, I didn't. I did not put Yu-Gi-Oh! At all in my breakdown. Blue eyes,
I
white
think-
dragon. Sorry, keep going.
I think Jess needs to release her Yu-Gi-Oh card rankings.
Exactly.
You have a Google
Where's
Doc.
the
I don't think
Yu-Gi-Oh
anybody wants
breakdown,
that.
Jess? Where is
Nobody
it?
wants that. Ain't nobody wants that. I got my Digimon, but I ain't got my Yu-Gi-Oh.
Hey, Agumon all day.
So Runa the Light Elf messes with everybody this episode. She pretends to be Dennis. She pretends to be Pug, our boy Pug. She says sexually harassing women is my kick. Oh my God.
Literally
That-
a career ender. She could have literally
We must
ruined
protect
that man's
Pug at all
career.
costs.
Pug looked at them and said, "You guys know me."
He's like, you know me. I gave you all of the map to the best
While Tommy's away, we all use the same bucket at Tommy's office.
for pooping.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's going to happen in the MCU, unfortunately, is all the assholes are going to say, hey, I didn't send that dick pic. Light Elf was impersonating me and sent the dick.
It's true.
I'm like, okay, it's the new my account was hacked. It's going to be a Light Elf.
It's
pretending
law.
to be
It's
me.
precedent in law now. It's like, all right, now light elves can,
Right.
can do bad shit. All right, whatever.
So we see Blonsky's parole hearing. We meet Blonsky's 7 soulmates, some adoring pen pals wearing wreaths, a true Manson family situation. I'm sure you guys caught that reaction shot where he hulked out and they're all like,
Ooh,
Oh.
this is what I've been waiting for.
Ugh. Oh my God, he looks like a giant fish man. And all of them were immediately like swoon. And I
Hey,
was
man,
like, no.
The Shape of Water won an Oscar.
That's
so, I
different.
can see.
That's different. And we know that's different. That man's different. That man's fine as hell. But this,
Jess, I don't know what you're talking about. Our boy claims that he has changed emotionally, physically, metaphysically, spiritually, karmically, cosmically, and interdimensionally. Which, what the hell does he mean by that? This guy doesn't bend other dimensions that we know of. Wong, what have you been doing with him? Taking him to
Seriously.
that hand dimension that Doctor Strange went to. He's like, yeah, scrub every part of me. I'll settle for 7, but I'll take infinite hands.
that's a good,
Anyway.
that's a good impression of him. I'll give you that. I like that one. That one's good.
I'm working on it. My British accent changes every time. You know, there's some UK people are watching like, no, that's Australian.
No.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No,
I don't know what I'm doing. So we learned that Blonsky is a compound where he's going to set up a meditation retreat. Wow. That's never been a start of a sentence that I want to finish, right? But Dennis and Runa have their trial. We learn that Runa is the daughter of an elfin diplomat. The judge denies her diplomatic immunity when she tries to quote Thor and Odin with that Asgard's not a place, it's a people. And then Runa impersonates a judge for good measure. Wong shows up to the parole board hearing late, and he tells them that he did take Blonsky from prison, but despite offering him some asylum at Kamertage, Blonsky insisted on returning to prison. It sounds like Wong just making shit up for Blonsky. He just likes his sparring buddy, but I don't know. Blonsky hulks out, proves he's in control, and is able to talk. And Jen testifies that Dennis is a delusional loser capable of being duped by an impersonator, and the judge rules in Dennis's favor, making these stallion cameos in the back of the courtroom. I love it. I love it. But this is the first of, this is not the first of many MCU cameos that we see. Elon Musk was in Iron Man 2.
This is true.
We've had all
Was
kinds of
he?
crazy, weird celebrity cameos.
I can't
Yeah.
remember that. And
Like
I wish you
before
would
the,
never said it.
the fight on the
Yeah.
road there, he's talking to
Larry
Tony.
Ellison showed up in that same movie too, like because they had the Oracle, biodome thing, right? Like so. there's been all
Technically,
kinds of
like
crazy-
Beyonce is also MCU canon.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Wong loves.
Oh my god! They should have got Beyonce too. That would have been incredible.
You think Beyonce
Oh
would
my
have showed
God.
up? Beyonce's too busy with her last album. She's
This
like,
is
oh,
true.
no. She showed up in Pink Panther. She thinks she's too good for movies ever since Pink Panther, which is the worst thing she's ever been in. And I will say it out loud. The worst thing she's ever been in.
Wow, those are some harsh words, Jess. Some harsh
Is
words.
it? Is
No,
it?
not really.
Is it? I'll give her Dreamgirls was good, okay? Pink Panther wasn't good with her in it. Austin
Goldmember?
Powers Goldmember was
Ooh.
okay. I love
She's
Gold.
a whole
okay.
lot of woman.
I love these movies. I'm saying Beyonce in the movies is what I don't like.
Okay.
I love the movies.
Mm.
Me and Beyonce can talk. It's her acting, which is me and her have a beef about.
The parole board agrees to release Blonsky so long as he wears an inhibitor, and then Jen gets attacked by this crew who robbed an Asgardian construction site. It sounds like they're the version of the Wrecking Crew from the comics. They tried to steal Jen's blood. They work for a mysterious boss. And in the post-credit scene, Jen and Megan Thee Stallion twerk. Because why not? Why wouldn't
Exactly.
you?
Best post-credit
If
scene
she's
in the
on the call
MCU.
My favorite part about it is she got the one line that every Megan Thee Stallion fan would say is, "I'd kill for you, Megan Thee Stallion." And she was like, okay, settle
Like,
down.
dial it
I was like,
back,
that'd be the
please.
first thing I say to her. That would be the first thing I'd say to her. I'd be like, who do you want me to kill?
It's like, don't forget, you are a Hulk. I'm very terrified, so please stop.
Before we get to the question of who this wrecking crew is and who they work for, MT, you have some fun news to share with us.
And guys, do not forget to head on over to newrockstarsmerch.com to grab our latest Obsession shirt, Lady Justice, inspired by the She-Hulk series. This limited edition shirt will not be available forever, so be sure to grab one before they're gone faster than an abomination on parole. And when you do purchase the latest Obsession shirt, you unlock the ability to get a custom shoutout that will appear right here on Inside Marvel. So be sure to check out all of our amazing merch options over at newrockstarsmerch.com. But Jess, what is our first question for this episode?
Our first question is, who is the Wrecking Crew and who do they work for?
Yes.
Who are their daddies and what do they do?
Oh, I can answer that. I can answer that.
The Wrecking Crew is a recurring group of supervillains who first appeared in the Defenders comics in 1974, but really they've showed up again and again, fighting the Avengers, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, the X-Men, She-Hulk. For the most part, they're known as villains to Thor.
Right.
They are made up of the Wrecker, aka the prisoner Dirk Garthwaite, who gets powers when his crowbar is enchanted by the non-queen, Karnilla, and she actually thought he was Loki. A lightning bolt strikes his crowbar, transforms Garthwaite along with the ex-physicist who asked for his help, Dr. Elliot Franklin. Franklin becomes Thunderball, who carries a mace, that becomes Bulldozer, who wears the armored helmet, and then Brian Kaluski, who becomes Piledriver. In the comics, they first fight the Defenders and Luke Cage, but then over the years, they're always breaking out of prison. They fight Thor a lot, and really any one of the other Marvel heroes from time to time. With this episode of She-Hulk, the MCU looks to be changing their origin a bit to something closer to, I guess, Adrian Toomes' crew and Spider-Man Homecoming.
I got major
instead of these men
Toomes
becoming
crew vibes from them.
Yeah. They're picking up the wrong shit, right? And then they don't know how to use it. Instead of these men being enchanted physiologically by Karnilla, it just kind of looks like they acquired some Asgardian tech, and now they're working for someone who wants Jennifer Walters' blood, which is interesting. It's kind of set up in episode 1 with that close-up of Bruce incinerating her blood samples, showing us how precious of a resource Hulk blood is and how it shouldn't fall into the wrong hands. Thor: Love and Thunder explored the effect of New Asgard in Earth's society. New Asgard is now a tourist destination with enchanted boats and inappropriate Thanos ice cream. King Valkyrie has to sit in on these conferences with all these international diplomats. There was that news ticker in Spider-Man No Way Home mentioning political turmoil in New Asgard. And now we're seeing how the light elf Runa, who is one of the citizens of New Asgard, she's using Asgardian shape-shifting sorcery, the kind Loki uses to defraud people in America. So in general, Asgardians technology and magic is just kind of screwing with society in all kinds of ways. This is a new version of leftover Chitauri tech after the Battle of New York. So let's speculate. What is the Wrecking Crew's MCU origin? I don't know. I think the recent crisis with Gore, when New Asgard's leaders and parents were just distracted by Gore snatching their kids, and Thor, Valkyrie, Jane, and Korg went off to Omnipotent City, then onto the Shadow Realm to deal with it. That colony really had its guard down, and visitors there at the time might have swiped some enchanted construction tools, and clearly these guys just aren't very good at using these. Clearly, like they're falling all over themselves. I think they then might have shopped them to some of the various arms dealers throughout the MCU. We know the power broker, Sharon Carter from Madripoor. Now she's exonerated after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's the various silent partners that she is connected with. In the comics, the Wrecking Crew has worked under the hood. Parker Robbins, we know he's showing up in Ironheart. We think it's going to be Anthony Ramos' character. But I suspect their boss will have some Thunderbolts or Daredevil connection. Maybe Wilson Fisk Kingpin, maybe Val. One of them could be Sharon Carter's buyer, whom she called on the phone. If they are, I feel like those two would be the most eager to acquire weaponized fluid like Super Soldier Serum and Hulk blood. We know in the MCU, the Hulk project really was rooted in that Super Soldier project base that Blonsky was talking to Ross about in that 2008 Hulk movie. I really think Kingpin and Val might have been the ones who gave Holloway the money to set up the superhero law division at GLK&H. But I want to know both of your thoughts. There's really, sky's the limit with options they could be working for.
No, I think that this is setting up something that was teased at the end of the Incredible Hulk, sort of with the leader. Because the leader had a room, a massive room full of the Hulk's blood that the Hulk, he sent him one sample and the leader was like, all right, I'm just going to make a bunch because I want to cure humanity of all the sicknesses in the world. And the Bruce was like, no, we have to burn this room. And like we see off screen in the Avengers Prelude comic, I believe number 7, that the leader like tries to get Natasha to take all the blood so he can form a new society, form this new world that is ruled by people of power and influence. And I think that we're seeing that come into fruition in this show because like these people want Jen's blood specifically because it can give you superpowers. It can give you the ability to become a super soldier. And I think that there's a possibility here that Val, working on behalf of Hydra, is trying to fill the world with chaos by flooding the world with a bunch of superpowered people so that Hydra can come in and try to take over the world slowly. Be like, oh man, we need the Sokovia Accords again. Like, because like, well, that was really going to help us out. And like, we just threw that away. We need to control people and to have our own Avengers in every state and to just, you know, keep the world safe. But we're actually Hydra. And we're going to take over the world. So I think that this is what they might be setting up here with this Gen Blood situation. But what do you think, Jess?
I agree. I think it's a good idea to bring the leader in, especially if we're going to bring in this much of an Incredible Hulk. Why not bring the leader in? So I did pitch like, this might be the leader. But if we're talking like, I'm not trying to turn this into Rogue Theory, but if we want to make this wild, I agree with what both of you are saying ultimately. But also, you got the Ronin! I haven't seen those in so long. Give them back. Give them back. Give them back to us. They're mine. They're all mine. Also, well, to also add on to what Voss said first, I just think Wilson Fisk is so messy and Val isn't. Val is pretty clean about getting her people. So I don't know if it'd be that close working together, but I do want to see them be working for Leapfrog. And why I think I want them to be working for Leapfrog is I want Leapfrog to be a rich version, opposite of kind of what he kind of was in the comics. I want him to like make up for what his dad did and have his own pair of goons. And I just want these to be the goons that he hires. And I want, because the Wrecking Crew is such a joke. And I'm sorry for people that love the Wrecking Crew. You can still love them, but also say that they're fools. They're fools. And also they're villains that wear their symbol on their chest, like of t-shirts, not like an actual costume.
They're just best friends, okay?
They went
Can you put our terrorist symbol on a shirt, please? That'd be great.
The Flag Smashers didn't really even do that, did they? They didn't have like a shirt that said Flag Smash. Like they were.
No,
just
they
like,
didn't go to a screen. They just they put red paint on their hands and slap each
yeah,
other in the
that's
face.
fine. That's fine. I just think it's kind of like cartoony to make t-shirts.
I think it's sweet. I think it's adorable. They all hang out in a van together, and they like,
and they're bad
they
at what they're
each
doing.
Other. They're like, that was a bad idea, friends. I'm sorry. Let's go get ice cream.
They did like the Power Rangers setup, and then all got knocked in one push. So it's like, that's why I think for Leapfrog, it would make the most sense. Keep it chaotic with another chaotic. Have them just be working for like a mediocre mid villain versus like Wilson Fisk. I think he learned his lesson from the jumpsuits or the tracksuit mafia, where it's like they can be really messy. Let's not make messy again.
That's a good point. There'd be a lot of sloppy groups who are comedic working for
Wilson Fisk.
But I can see Wilson wanting the Wrecking Crew to take her blood because, like, I think at this point, this dude's blind, right? He should be blind at the end of Hawkeye because, like, Echo sort of shoots him off screen. So, like, presumably he's blind. So maybe he wants.
You think he would hire a better team than the Wrecking Crew? The Wrecking Crew was actually worse than the tracksuit.
Wilson looks kind of broke these days. I don't know.
That is true. The way he left the third season of Daredevil, he has nothing. So he could be that. He might have met the Wrecking Crew in prison because they met in prison. But I still am like, the Wrecking Crew's just so messy. They can't be working for Val. Val would never hire those fools.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of different crews. Maybe there's like, I don't know, 6 different crews, and these guys, we're just kind of working our way through all the different slop towns.
I think you mentioned it, and we didn't even bring up the fact that we're getting Red Hood in Ironheart. So why wouldn't he be working for the Red Hood crime syndicate that we see in the comics?
Just the Hood.
So it's
Red Hood's DC.
Oh, not Red Hood. Sorry. Oh God, the Hood. Sorry.
It is colored red.
I did say the
Hood. It is a red hood.
It is
so
red.
That's that.
You did bring up the Hood. There's too many hoods. Too many hoods. Right. Too many properties. But you did bring up the Hood and how he worked for the Hood's crime syndicate in the comics briefly. So I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in Ironheart as like a team of weird villains.
I did.
Yeah, I think I love this idea of the leader as well. I mean, I'm ready for him to come back. And like, if Blonsky can come back, the leader can totally come back. I'm just wondering, would it be Hydra that he's connected with? Could it be the Intelligentsia? Are we going to see like a lineup of supervillains? Because we know the leader's connected with that angles, right? It's just who would be more interested? I guess Hydra has a history of super soldier serum and wanting their hands on that kind of thing to create an army of, brainwashed
They're
warriors.
obsessed, man. Like, he got a really bad concoction. And so they're probably just like, hey, let's be like our pal Red Skull or God. Let's make us all superpowered.
Comic is Holden Holloway's granddaughter. Do you think that they could be working for Southpaw, who's on the streets right now? And she's like, get that She-Hulk blood. Give me that blood.
Yeah.
I wonder if Holloway could, like, there's something wrong with Southpaw, or like she's sick. He's like, I need her blood so that she can be really cool
Oh,
and have a
I
big
could-
old arm or whatever.
Damn it. That's the only way I'd give sympathy to Holden too, is because I like Southpaw. I hate him right now, and I think he's
He's
still
a
up to no
creepy
good.
dude.
He's up to no good.
Yeah.
He is sketch,
Shifty.
and that's the only way I'll like him is if he's just trying to protect his granddaughter.
Here's a hot take. Dracula. What if Dracula wants some
Ooh,
blood?
blood.
Oh,
baby.
And we get some Dracula business going on. It sets up Blade, baby, because we have Blade's coming
True.
next year.
That is
Next
so
Halloween?
true. I
They
never
should.
thought
We get
about that
vampires?
vampire angle. That is such a good idea. Because, like, what is that, like, Mountain Dew flavor like, with gamma blood? It's like, delicious. I've never had this.
It's Code Red.
Code Red.
That's Mountain Dew Code Red.
But, like, yeah, I feel like it would be delicious to
I
have. Oh,
love
that's
Code
such a good
Red.
idea. Oh, my God. That's so good.
I drank Mountain Dew Code Red exclusively. I don't think I drank water freshman year of high school. I'd walk
Your
around
kidneys
with Code
love
You're
it more than water.
disgusting.
I
Take
hear.
little sips during.
You're like, yeah.
That's why I piss blood. Anyway, that's
Keep it to yourself.
That's
As long
okay.
as it's not in Tommy's bathroom office, I don't care what you do.
Anyway, hey, let's talk about our sponsors. Helix Sleep. When you got a big day at court, you're gonna want to get some great sleep the night before, and nothing helps you get perfect night's sleep like a Helix mattress. I have a Helix mattress, as does MT. Recently, producer Zach, producer John got a Helix mattress. They got separate ones. They don't share.
They got a
Kinda
bunk bed mattress. They sleep
They
together.
do. Helix Sleep is a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete. It matches your body type and your sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Everybody's unique, and Helix knows that, so they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have soft, medium, and firm mattresses. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. Mattress is great for spinal alignment to prevent some morning aches and pains. Even a Helix Plus mattress for plus-size sleepers. Producer Zach took the Helix quiz and was matched to the Midnight Deluxe mattress because he's a side sleeper that needed a softer mattress, and now he doesn't wake up with a sore shoulder or neck like he did with the other mattresses that he used to have. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2021 by GQ and Wired Magazine. So here's what you got to do. Go to helixsleep.com/InsideMarvel. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz and they will match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/InsideMarvel. All right, back to the episode. I want to ask you two, do you think Wong remembers the memory wipe spell from Spider-Man No Way Home?
Actually, I had this question too. And so then I went back and rewatched No Way Home. And technically, he brings it up to, basically asked Wong for permission. Right before Wong leaves, he's like, do you remember the party that happened at the Carmitage? He's like, no, exactly. Like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, just leave me out of it. I don't want to deal with it. So he's aware of the spell before it was created. So I think he's aware that everyone's mind got wiped about Peter Parker or Spider-Man. And then the whole thing happened, and then everyone got wiped knowing who Peter Parker is. So I think he still knows the original spell that was supposed to take place of like everyone forgetting Spider-Man.
I like that justification. That makes sense.
That does make a lot of sense. But also, like, the spell was very specific to Peter Parker and the knowledge that he is Spider-Man. Like, everyone probably saw the huge cracks over the Statue of Liberty. So, like, that's probably in people's memories, but they probably have no idea why it happened or, like, if it's related to Peter Parker in any way. So I think that Wong probably saw the cracks. He's like, those are the dark borders that I was talking about. I told Strange about. So something happened with that spell. Something terribly wrong. But I can't remember. So all I know is that the spell is bad. We should probably not do it again. So I don't know.
I love that he calls it messy, right? Like, I think Wong as Sorcerer Supreme is dealing with all of, like, the plot holes that now exist. As Sorcerer, he just can kind of see how confused people are. Like, people have this fog in their head of, like, they know Spider-Man was part of it. I think he might have taken off his mask at some point, but I just can't remember who was under that mask. Like, that kind of mass amnesia is what he's referring to by messies. Like, it doesn't make sense.
This episode specifically, I think the third episode does the most with the writers. The writers are having fun for She-Hulk for sure. But I think this episode is the writers. There is a mention that Jessica Gao said they won't let us make fun of Marvel. And I think this was a little joke nod at Marvel by being like, no one understands the repercussions of what happened in that spell. And it is so hard to understand. So I think they just wrote like, it's messy to like also be a sly nod to everyone that watched the movie that was like, wait, if this happened, then why is it all these things happening?
I really hope Deadpool gets to make fun of Marvel a little bit, though.
Hopefully, yeah, they better unleash him and like team him up with Jen and let Jen also make fun of Marvel because Marvel deserves to be made fun
To
of.
be fair, Jessica Gao, they're making fun of Marvel was like kind of rough. It was like them being kind of mean.
Oh,
where it was
no.
like,
They got to the crux of it, you know. I agree. All right, let's talk about light elves. What could be their MCU background? I know MT, you have some opinions about light elves. And Alpine.
I think that the Sovereign are evolved versions of the light elves, because we know in Guardians 2, like they're obsessed with evolving their actual bodies to be the perfect beings, and like they I think that they live on 6 suns that are covered in something called Dyson spheres, which are like a completely fictional scientific thing that basically like scientists, if they could cover the sun in this like technology sphere, could harness the power of the sun and have infinite energy forever, basically, well, until the sun burns out. So I think that the Sovereign themselves are a genetically modified version of this woman, and like she's just like unmodified, she's just like pure light elf, and she's living on Asgard. But that's just my weird thing. I think that the light elves are just all about light, like just like the dark elves are all about darkness. Which is why she can change her appearance, because she's just manipulating light around herself. Because like, all right, I'm a light elf. We can just create illusions. Sort of like I'm forgetting her name, Sprite from Eternals or Loki.
I
love that theory, MT. I think that's a really cool idea. My thinking is that like the way the realms have been depicted in the MCU when it comes to like the Asgardian realms or the 9 realms, they seem to be like other planets, and like. Didn't we see Vanaheim or whatever in the
right in Thor 2
and Thor: The Dark World? We know Muspelheim. It was like Surtur's realm. It just seemed to be like another place, not a people though. I just find it interesting that like this family of light elves was on Asgard, and like this was like another race of people that they might have been basically the ambassadors from Alfheim living on New Asgard at the time. The way that like an ambassador will bring their family to Asgard, and then it got destroyed, and they just got like stuck with the Asgardian people. Maybe like the other light elves were all basically eradicated and killed, and now she ends up on New Asgard. But like, I have to wonder, is we were talking before we started rolling, how weird she is. She's like a weird little trickster. Do we think like maybe the light elves could be super old, and this woman is actually like super young? She's like a child.
Yeah,
among the light elves.
100%. I agree with that 100%. 100%. Especially because, actually, going back really quick, I do think that like the 9 realms still have, since Odin conquered them, I feel like maybe Odin was nice enough to give each of them like a correspondent for each of the worlds, just so it's like, we need to still live in harmony. I own you guys, but like, you guys can't fight me. So bring your respective people and we'll have talks every now and then. And I think that's maybe her dad. But I also think, like most countries, if you're like just someone that's born somewhere else and then you raise your family on another country or another planet here in this world, it would be another planet. I think she just lived like such a trickery. Like in Alfheim, I feel like the elves are very sweet, very nice. Each of them have different properties of what they do, and I feel like they were really smart and work technologically. And this elf, specifically Runa, is just the trickster because she was raised in Asgard to New Asgard to now like Earth. So now she's just like, I can be the trickery one. I think she's a bad example for what the light elves are. And she's not at all a good representative for what light elves are. So I think she is young. She is very young. And she's just all about tricking people and being an asshole. I just don't, because I think we're all going to look at this and be like, oh, these are how light elves act. And I'm like, no, in the comics, they're very sweet and they're genuine. And actually, they were like the easiest one to conquer. So I don't want Runa to be the example of what they are.
They're
Runa's
all just annoying elves.
And they're just shape-shifting into just stealing shit all the time. Like, sorry, edit all this out. But like, Jesus Christ. I was like, Runa sucks.
She really does suck, but I love her. I hope we see her in Secret Invasion.
She's lost her home. She's lost everything. You gotta imagine a little kid will be a little trickster like that, right? Like, but I don't like how she tries to get Pug canceled. Like, she's
right?
Yeah, exactly. She's like, let that be your warning. I'm like, you're a
let that be a
witch.
warning to you.
You little freaking. Also, a warning in front of everybody that just saw you do that. We know you're lying. She's not smart about her tricks either. That's what makes me think she's a kid. Is I'm like, you're really bad about your tricks. You're getting caught 24/7, dude.
All right, let's talk about Blonsky's compound. So I want to know what you guys think he's planning. Also, do we think like the footage from the trailer where Jen is like wearing her sundress on that farm, do we think that's his compound?
Oh, that could.
Oh,
Well, yes.
interesting.
I always took that as like a country club because I think the compound is where he's doing the group therapy, and in the windows in the trailer, it's all a lot of foliage, and there's not as many foliage on that golf course. But Titania is in both scenes, so that's why you could be right. Because Titania is a part of the group therapy and is seen in the background on the golf course. So you could be right, but I think
Maybe.
that's where we see his compound in the trailer is the group therapy.
I just find it interesting. Like we just saw a cult in Moon Knight with Arthur Harrow, right?
Yeah.
Like, are these cults aware of each other? Are they competing cults?
Is it a cult?
The Seven Wives, that is Manson,
It
right?
is 100%.
100%.
I also think it's not to be that person that's just so like, you guys know, like I'm woke as hell. But I'm like, I think it's also the writers just making fun of polygamy, like making fun of polyamorous relationships. But it is like definitely like be a part of me. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, but they're not evil like Manson. They're not evil like
that
the
we
ones
know
in-
of. We don't know
that
what
is true.
they're really like.
Yeah,
That is true. That is true.
I think that this whole like 7 soulmates thing is probably just like a foreshadowing on Marvel Studios' part because they keep bringing up, I'm going to retire back with my 7 soulmates on a compound. I think that this compound, like at the end of the day, like Blonsky, of course, like he has his own like retreat thing in the show. But I think that the real compound that he's talking about is going to be either with the Thunderbolts or like the Dark Avengers or something where like it's him and 7 other bad guys. Maybe Gamma powered bad guys. Maybe where we're looking at, was it Gamma Flight in the comics? I don't know. But like, I'm thinking like it's an actual team of bad guys that he's like secretly like trying to wink and a nod, tease to us. But who knows?
Brandon mentioned once that he was like, I think the 7 are representing the 7 people for the Thunderbolts, the 7 other people for the Thunderbolts. And I was like, I would like that, but also watch it just be his 7 partners.
I just think it's his 7 wives at this point. I think it's got to just be his wives. I just kind of want to know like what their moral alignment is, you know? Like I can't trust them. I don't know if they're going to be like as evil and violent as he was in the 2008 film, but like I have to think there's just something creepy. I mean, like I can't believe that the parole board is like, oh, sure, Manson vibes approved. Like they're wearing wreaths. Like that's freaking weird.
Hey, it ain't illegal to start a cult, I guess.
Not illegal to be married to 7 people. Which
Exactly.
actually, I think it is illegal.
It is illegal to be married
Wait,
to
is it?
multiple
as I say
people.
it out loud. Well,
Yeah, you can't be married to multiple. It's illegal.
legally, even religiously. I just watched Keep Sweet, so I don't know how this works anymore.
So did we. Kelly and I just finished Keep Sweet
I don't know how
Obey.
this works anymore. Legally, can you not do it?
You definitely cannot. The state of Utah banned it. Federally, you cannot. get
Okay,
married.
well,
Wow.
watch me. I'm gonna get married to 8 people. But yeah, it's so interesting. Also, it's like, not to be that weird person, but if they do each have an offspring to him, will they be making more Hulks? Will they be making more Abominations? Is that maybe his motive? To make a
Yeah, it's
make a
crazy
team?
because it's not like in the real world, your DNA doesn't get affected by shit that happens to you while you're alive. That's like the Lamarck theory of evolution versus a Darwinian theory of evolution. Like it's just things that already exist in your body give you an evolutionary advantage, and that's what you pass on to your offspring. But in the MCU, it affects their DNA,
It does.
right? Their DNA is affected, which doesn't make any sense. But that's fiction. It's
So
fantasy.
we think they're still up to no good. I just think they're nice wives. Maybe I'm giving Blonsky too much of a pass. I genuinely think he did change.
I mean, you can only pass it on if like what enables your superpower is a mutation, right? But I don't think they're gonna make Hulk the mutants. Maybe they will say that like the Banner family has a mutation, and then Blonsky also has a mutation. I just think they're gonna have to draw the line somewhere with who is a mutant and who isn't. And I think they're gonna say that like gamma irradiated people are just a different thing.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to touch that too much in She-Hulk. I think She-Hulk has so much that I think Kevin Feige probably
doing
at one
everything else.
point. Yeah, Kevin Feige at one point is probably going to be like, hey, stop releasing all this information because we have to answer it eventually.
We'll leave it there for this episode of She-Hulk. It's so much fun chatting this show with you two. And again, be sure to check out Jess's breakdown that should be coming out in a couple hours if it's not already on the channel. She's been doing such a great job breaking down all the Easter eggs and finding all the hidden goodies in all these episodes. So be sure to check that out. Follow Jessica at Lulu_Clemens. Follow MT at Mastertainment. Follow me at EA Voss. Be sure to subscribe to Inside Marvel wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to New Rockstars. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.